What's going on, YouTube world? This is your guy, internet brother, your internet friend, internet cousin, of course, Sealz the man. Thank you for coming back and rocking with me. And on today's episode, as y'all know, I talk about understanding the mind of men, decent men, good men, so that y'all may understand us much better. And one thing I want y'all to understand is to not always subscribe to these online podcasts, social media misconceptions, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there. People subscribe to it, they drag it, they believe it, and they make it law. And today I'm gonna talk about some of the most popular misconceptions of men that I feel like is toxic, unhealthy, and unproductive to people as a general, specifically men, coming from the mindset and the opinion of a man, all right? So that is the basis and the foundation of that. I feel like I need to talk about these misconceptions because they have run ravaged and have gone too far, have made a blaze to the world of relationships, human psychology, and the thinkings of what a man should be, all right? So the first unhealthy, detrimental misconception, in my opinion, about men is the saying, men make time for what they want. Now, let me play devil's advocate to my own self. There is truth in this. Men do make time for what they want because trust and believe, when I get those notifications for discount on tickets, I'm going to find a day out of the year to use that ticket because I love traveling. I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to cancel things. I'm going to take off work. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to use that discounted ticket because I love traveling. So let's speak generally outside of me. When a man claims he wants you and is chasing you or pursuing you, whatever the case, he's going to do things to prove that, to show that. It is just like a hunter. When a hunter is hunting his prey, he is going to use every ounce of gas in his body to obtain his prey. I get that. But let's speak on a real level from an actual man who goes through this life as a man. Although there is truth in that saying that a man is going to make time for what he wants, there is also an alternate dark reality to that. And I have experienced this myself probably yearly, honestly. A man will also burn out for the things he wants. And burnout is so real and it's so dangerous, especially when there's a lot on his plate, especially when he feels like he has the world, the weight of the world on his shoulders. Because when it comes to this, when a man does actually want to make time for the things he cares for and wants and loves, there's this thing called time management, right? And time management is one of the hardest things to do. And I could speak on this personally because there is not enough time in the day for me to do everything that I not only want, but need to do. I have people who depend on me, people that I love, people that I support, goals and dreams that I want to accomplish. It is literally chaotic to try to do all these things and have a timeshare for each of these things and split up my day in a pie graph and try to accomplish all of these things without it going to the next day. But as a man, I feel like I need to do those things. And that pressure, that weight is immense to the point where I try to do everything at once and end up getting nothing done. The desire to be the best man that I could possibly be every single day sometimes burns me out. And this is not just the case for me, it's the case for a lot of men, silently. And I'm telling you, most likely you know one. You probably live with one. And he will never tell you this, but I'm here to tell you this. This is what this channel is all about. The pressure to make time for every single thing, every single important thing in our lives can make us crash out. It can make us burn out. And is also a big statistic in today's suicide in men. Because when we don't get those things done, we feel like a failure. It's not a great feeling. So yes, men make time for the things they want, but I want y'all to just consider this and put this little coin in the back of your heads when you say things like this. Make sure you put him into consideration too, because you never know the load that he's already carrying outside of just trying to treat you right or be there for you. Silent pressure is the worst pressure. The second unhealthiest, worst misconception of men is that age makes a man. And I'm gonna tell you this as your internet brother, your internet friend, your internet cousin, that is a straight up lie. One of the kings of all lies. So I strongly dislike when people say things like, yo, he is too grown to be acting like that. At this age, he should know better, because those things should never correlate. Age does not equate to maturity. Age does not equate to manliness. Age does not equate to good decision making, because I know, and I know you know, a lot of grown-sized boys, adult-sized boys, grown behind men who are doing childish things. And it feels like they don't learn. I'm talking 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds who acting like straight up children. What makes a man is the desire to be a man, the common sense of decency, the want to be the best version of himself, the way he lives his life, the decisions that he makes. Manhood does not equate to age, because if you live the same life every year, for your whole life, you will remain in that beginning stage. If you do not change as your life progresses every single year, if you do not have the want to become better, then you will stay in that same stage. A child that does not change remains a child, no matter how many years they've been on this earth. So what I want y'all to do, what I suggest y'all to do, is stop thinking or calling a man because of his age. A man proves himself through his actions and the way he lives his life. Simply put. The next unhealthiest, toxic, in my opinion, worse misconception of a man is the saying that says, if a man does not tell you that he loves you every day, then he doesn't truly love you. Oh my goodness. Another thing that is honestly not true. Because let me tell you something about men. I know in this channel I talk about men and try to explain men from an overall aspect, the general aspect. But I will never speak in absolute, okay? I will never say that every man acts like this, or every man wants this, or every man needs this. That is just irresponsible to say. And I'm mature enough to know that. In saying that, I also understand that every single man is different. You have some men that say, I love you every single day. You have some men who are orators, who speak well, who express themselves verbally, who are loud, who like talking. You have those type of men. But you also have another type of man, a man who is quiet, reserved, conserved, nervous, anxious, speaks with his actions and not necessarily all his words, who would rather express himself through the things he does for others and not necessarily what he says to others. And this type of man is not going to say, I love you every single day, because he proves himself through his actions. He proves his love through the things he does for you. And this is especially the case for men who don't express themselves or struggling with expressing themselves verbally or showing emotion and stuff like that. You know, I be watching 90s shows, 90s TV shows every single night before I go to bed. A Different World, Martin, Jamie Foxx, Wayne's Brother, you know, all those type of shows. And it's funny, in those types of shows, the father or the father figure usually doesn't say, I love you every episode. But they for sure work hard every single episode. They're doing something, they're active, they're doing things for their family. And that is their way of saying, I love you to death. I will work to the bone bristle to make sure y'all have everything that y'all need in this life. In those shows, they never announce that they love them, but they prove it through their actions. And some men are still like that to this day. So just because your man or a man doesn't say, I love you every single day, does not mean he doesn't love you. You have to know your man. Is he verbal? Is he comfortable with speaking his emotions? Or is he a person that works through his actions? Is he a person that hugs you and shows his emotions through physical? Does he just lay his head in his lap when he's tired, and instead of saying that he's tired, he just shows you in that way? You got to know your man, because words does not always show or tell the truth. Another toxic saying and misconception of men that I truly dislike, strongly dislike, I hate saying hate, but it's almost there, is that if a man is not loud or dominant acting, then he's weak. I hear this so much. I actually remember I was in a room one time and there was a discussion about this, about a man being dominant and if he's not, you know, outwardly, then he's weak or looked at as weak. And I had a dude tell me, yo, you seem real Harvard. You seem real preppy because you're not out, like you don't talk loud or you're not braggadocious. And this was a man. This wasn't a woman. This was a man thinking this about men. So I realized he equated manliness or toughness to the outwardly look, the outwardly aspect. And of course, you know me, I had to put him on game about how wrong he was. But what I'm here to tell you is that just because a man or your man is not loud or acting big and barak and tough, barking, does not mean he will not knock someone's head off. It does not mean he is not dangerous. It does not mean he's not manly. Because I always tell people, you got to watch out for the silent ones. The man who's just on the wall like this when things going down, who's just like this. That's who you need to watch out for. Not the one who's the loudest in the room. You need to watch out for the quietest one. And what I also want to say is dominance is not defined by volume or how loud you could be or what you could show. Dominance is proven through actions. And it's crazy because gentle, quiet, or emotionally intelligent men are dismissed as weak men, which is crazy to me, or dismissed as too soft. But true strength isn't loud, not at all. True strength is how that man handles pressure, challenges, adversity, relationship issues, unplanned problems. How he handles those situations shows true strength and true dominance. Never sleep on a man because he's quiet or not loud, because that could be your worst mistake on so many levels. And the last unhealthy, terrible misconception of men that I want to break down today is the grand old saying, men only want one thing. While physical attraction does matter, many men, and I'm talking many men, are seeking meaningful connection. And not just connection, seeking peace, clarity, loyalty, and all of the above. This saying, this misconception just oversimplifies what men actually want and look for and seek and value in women, in a long-term partner. And I feel like this saying started from a victim of some dude's mess. Because to generalize and put every person or man, a whole gender into one box and think that we only want one thing is just foolish. It's immature, and it's just not true. Because if that was the case for men, then that should be the case for women too. If men want only one thing, then there's no women that only want one thing. See, even diving into that foolishness creates a whole nother set of foolishness. As I said earlier in this video, every single person is different. Just because you had a bad experience with a man does not mean every man is going after what that man did to you in your relationship. And another thing I want to put on this too, I kind of talked about this early in the video, but I also talked about this in other videos. Let's decipher and be careful of who we call a man. A man is not going to want one thing. A dude is going to want one thing maybe. A guy is going to want one thing maybe. Some immature male fool is going to want one thing. But a man is not going to just want one thing. So let's be careful once again of who we call men. Let's put more power and praise and exclusivity into who we call men and women. All right, so I hope y'all enjoyed my video on the common, toxic, unhealthy, and worse misconceptions of man coming from a man. And I hope I was able to affect your perception of these things, these popular sayings, in some way, somehow, in order to spread positivity and healthy education. All right, thank you for being here, and I will see you on my next video. Peace and blessings. Goodbye.